Ever wondered which city is the richest in Skyrim? It's not Solitude, not Markarth, it's Whiterun. But this wealth hides a fatal weakness, one that could bring the whole city down. Let's go inside Whiterun's brutal economy and uncover why the richest city in Skyrim might also be the most vulnerable. We're going to follow every single gold piece inside the walls and outside the walls, and see exactly where every septim in Whiterun ends up. On the surface, it's Skyrim's biggest economy, merchants on every street, farms feeding the city, blacksmiths hammering from dawn to dusk, even real estate cheap enough to tempt new investors. But the richer a city gets, the harder it crashes when something goes wrong. The problem with this city, as you will soon see, is that it relies on multiple supplies from the mines to keep the blacksmith industry alive, as well as its various shops and businesses. Most of these are outside city walls, and without constant supplies, the city is doomed to fail. Let's analyze many of these closely, and you will soon see that it's not all what it seems. Bellator runs the general goods store here, and he's famous for saying that if he had a sister, he'd sell her in a second.
Hell, my friend, everything. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second.
Honestly, if she looked good, I wouldn't even mind. But what if you're broke? Well, there's a spot for that. Outside the city walls to the north is White Watch Tower. The first time you visit, a few bandits attack, loot them, and you might find a few things. But the real reason you're here is for the two chests that you can lockpick. Together, they've got around 80 gold. Not much, but in early game, it's free money. One chest is down by the crates, and the other takes a little bit of parkour to reach. Imagine how rich the city is. It literally has money lying around in easy to lockpick places. For this video, we're looking only at what we can see and experience in the present. No deep lore, no future events, nothing. Just what's happening right now in Whiterun's economy and what we can perceive and interact with. Following the walls, we run into the Tundra Homestead, a house for sale at around 7,500 gold. It doesn't require you to do any quests, just walk into Dragon's Reach and buy it from the steward. And further ahead, we see two farms. The first one is owned by the Battleborns. In Whiterun, there are two clans, the Battleborns, who are loyal to the Empire, and the Greymanes, who side with the Stormcloaks, and they are rivals, of course. But the first farm is not as important as the second one, which is owned by someone who isn't affiliated with any clan. Chilfuro Farm, owned by the most important man in Skyrim, more important than the Dragonborn himself, Nazim. Yes, the man who goes to the Cloud District very often. Most people eliminate him in their first playthrough, but I like to keep him alive, to remind myself how important it is to go to the Cloud District. Sometimes I also remind him of his mortality. His farm got some crops, one cow, and of course a worker, because Nazim is far too busy advising the Jarl in the Cloud District. Inside the place, you can find about 40 gold lying around, decent food, wine, a good bed, and honestly, this worker, lives better than most citizens in Skyrim. And no, Nazim doesn't actually live here. He's got a small spot upstairs in the Drunken Huntsman, where I checked every chest and table, but there are barely any gold or belongings here. I guess he keeps his fortune hidden. Let's move on for now and see what else we notice. But wait, before that, do you guys see what I'm seeing? Okay, another one of these moments where I notice a mistake from the level designers at Bethesda. Do you guys notice how these two walls right here don't match up at all? Bethesda, please fix. This is the second time already. Naturally, this triggered me in a weird way. So I installed old Skyrim, not the anniversary edition, the old Dream, to check if this is an issue. And no, it is not an isolated case. Old Skyrim also has the same problem with the misaligned wall and many more. But as you can see here, I am playing on an RTX card and somehow the game isn't capped at 60 FPS, which makes it buggy as hell. I presume that's what's causing it. Anyways, let's go back to the new Skyrim and leave the fossils behind. And what do we have here? The infamous Hunting Broom Meadery. And to recap, so far we have two businesses, aka two farms. These improve the local economy and stability, which is also important for maintaining economic growth. But remember, these are outside city walls. Now the Hunting Broom Meadery is the competitor of the Blackbriar Meadery, that is located all the way in Riften. The two meaderies are the biggest in all of Skyrim, and Nordic tradition makes them by design a very profitable business. It is up to debate which one you think is better. But for now, we just consider these two buildings right here. They make up the Hunting Bromedery and are the third business we find outside Whiterun city walls, and definitely a huge source of tax revenue for the city. Not bad for a city whose population is realistically, okay, so realistically, 70-80 people at most. I am referring to what you can see and perceive, including the guards. Let's walk further away alongside this sewer water, and yes, that's exactly what it is. If you don't believe me, watch my Water of Skyrim video to find out why. Here, we are at yet another farm. Did you keep count? No? Okay, we got 3 farms already for the city of Whiterun, all owned by different people. So the economic environment is not only viable, but also fair. There isn't one person to have a monopoly on the supply of food, and that's great as far as internal struggles go. The horse stables are yet another business alongside with the horse carriage. They're both definitely profitable, as transport and logistics will always be needed. The stable building even has a garden next to it. These people ain't starving anytime soon. And do you guys still have any doubts as to how rich Whiterun is? Fear not, for I am about to blow your mind with the next one. The cute Khajiit caravans. They say that they have wares if you have the coin. These lovely cats will sell you just about anything, and they will also improve your sneak skill, as well as please your eyesight. I heavily advise you do not hurt them. I would really not like that. Anyways, this is it for the outside of Whiterun, and you might be wondering, how come they manage to do all this in the brutal world of Skyrim? Everything tries to get you. Bandit raids at every corner. Wolves, creatures, heck even dragons now. I mean, it's enough to go into any other major city in Skyrim and notice that they don't have this much going for them. And you would be right, that's true. I wouldn't say they're doing well in Whiterun, but they are definitely the most hardworking. Let's not waste any more time and go inside, for I have even more to show you around. What's the first thing you hear when you enter Whiterun?
But we must have more swords for the Imperial soldiers.
I just can't fill an order that size on my own.
That's right, she can't fulfill an order of that size. That says we got a blacksmith and one that gets a lot of sales too. Thus a lot of revenue. You're looking at this woman and probably thinking that her clothes are dirty, but you know what? She's actually grinding, making bank, while you're out there judging her like a brokey. Not only that, but this place here is efficient. Smeltery and blacksmith outside, and inside is the weapon and armor shop. It's logistically efficient, thus lowering costs. But again, remember, this city doesn't have the advantage that something like Markarth has, where you can mine the ore and transport it to blacksmith in the same city so you wouldn't have to stockpile instead. We'll skip some more of this part of the town to come back later and check out the market area. The hustle and bustle of the city is where Nazim comes to talk in a condescending way to the merchant. Here we have an inn, various shops, a general goods store and an alchemy store. Interesting to notice how all of the city seems to simply come here and check the markets. It definitely feels like the heart of the city and pretty much is that way. And you can find people here at pretty much any hour, making the place feel actually busy and lived in. You can find them browsing at the market or just transiting around. Especially this guard right here. This guy is invincible and doesn't care. He will sit upright for days. None of our business though, because we're too busy entering the general goods store. And oh boy does Bellator have what we need. I would sometimes come all the way from other far reaches of Skyrim only to sell here, as this guy would really buy and sell just about anything you can imagine. He's in general a likable character, and we'll just leave him alone for now. Overall, this part of the city is very economically active. Plenty of food for the people, tourism, and even entertainment. Moving ahead to the so-called Wind District. Here we have a more administrative part of the city, somewhat. This district is home to the Companions, the Temple of Kinaret, and the Elder Gleam Tree. Also, the two rivaling clans of Whiterun I mentioned previously have their homes here. I won't go into detail over this district as there is too much to say, it requires an entire separate lore video actually. Also the same goes for Dragon's Reach, which is located in the Cloud District. And don't even ask me who goes to the Cloud District very often. Whiterun feels like a safe city with proper administration. The Jarl actually cares about its citizens, even if it is sometimes shaken by instability given by the civil war and the life is indeed brutal, don't get me wrong. Farm work in Skyrim isn't easy. Same goes for guard work or hunting. The people try to do their best despite the conditions. So guys, I think this is the perfect time to wrap up this video. Let me know what else you'd like to see and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.